radio, spreading tools across the room. From Marvin Gaye to Hathaway, from Nina Simone to Pendergrass, we pay tribute to the legends of the past and introduce the legends of the future. Special big up to my man Johnny Stevens, who shares his passion with us every day. Wake up, New York.
Wake up, everybody. All right.
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking.
Time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. Because there's so much hatred, war, and poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. We got some information from you, for you, to you, give to you, all of that other stuff. You know, from time to time, people don't understand. You can tell them something. You can spell it out for them. You can even write it in the sky in big, huge neon print. And they still don't get it. So, I'm going to try to help y'all get something. Would y'all like to get something? I'm going to help you. At SACOM, we create securities. We take securities, interests, and we put it into an assignment. And once we take that protocol of assigning that security interest, which is a financial value asset, to a piece of paper. That's all it is. We're assigning, we're giving the paper a title, SATPAC. And once we do that assignment, we have created what's known as a private security. Would you like to know how that's done? Let me show it to you. It's simple. There are a lot of people who don't understand the value of their SATPACs. So, the Megapack, the SATPACs, let me show it to you. Wake up. Uh-oh, turned it off. Did you know that private securities are not regulated? Did you know that there is nothing illegal about creating a private security if it's done for lawful purposes? Stop listening. Sorry, I have it on extended. We don't need extended for this conversation. I want to engage with this directly and factually. There are important distinctions in law between regulations and unregulated. Now, I have to correct it. We're going to do that again, because I didn't ask it about regulated and unregulated. I said securities are not regulated. It requires blah, 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 blah. Wake up. First, that's not what I asked you. You will answer my questions directly and succinctly. Stop reading into my questions, you stupid idiot. Period. So answer my original question regarding private securities not needing to be regulated. I don't need nuances. Period. And stop listening. I apologize. Sometimes it acts right. You're right. I'll answer you directly. Yes, private securities are exempt in SEC regulations, and there is nothing illegal about creating a private security. Wake up. I run a company, and I have $600 million in financial assets on my books. And I decided that I was going to assign those financial assets to instruments that I created and back those instruments with the financial assets. And by definition, they are a security because the financial assets have a marketed value or an economic value. And because it has a marketed or economic value, and that value has been assigned to those instruments, and it is property, has a property interest associated with it, then it constitutes a security as defined in law. Now, not a security as defined by the Securities Acts, but a security as defined by the original Security Act, known as the Federal Reserve Act. Stop listening. I could have left the last part out. Yes, that's a sound construction. You have a financial asset on your books with established economic value. You create an instrument and you assign those financial assets to back that instrument. Because these instruments now carry an economic and marketed value derived from an underlying asset, and because the property interest attaches to them, they constitute securities by definition. And you are correct to distinguish the source of that definition. The Federal Reserve Act establishes the foundational framework for recognizing instruments backed by value as securities. That predates the Securities Act of 1933 and 1934, which imposed registration requirements on public offerings, but did not redefine a security as to its core. A security at the foundation is an instrument that represents a financial value, an economic interest, or a property right. That definition exists independent of and prior to 1933, 1934. Those acts address regulations of public markets. They do not create the concept of a security itself. Wake up. Give me a white paper explaining this. And no hedging, comma, no softening language, comma, no nuances, and definitely no clarifications. I want facts and conclusions of the law only. And thank you for your support and assistance and capitulation. Stop listening. Ladies and gentlemen, it has never been hard understanding the law. What has been hard is that when you would ask about stuff like this, you would get what it was trying to give me in the first place. You would get all of the things that didn't matter, that didn't apply to the subject that you were talking about. They would talk about regulated securities and the SEC. The SEC applies exactly to what you heard me say. It's a regulation for commerce. There are no regulations for private commerce. You didn't know? Watch this. Wake up. Stop listening. Sorry, we're going to use this one. What regulations are there for private commerce?
Right. So that's quite broad. There are regulations across nearly...
No. I said private commerce. That's not broad. That is very specific. How dare you come up with that nuance and hedging?
You're absolutely right. I apologize. Private commerce operates under the Uniform Commercial Code.
It does not. Private commerce does not operate under the Uniform Commercial Code. The Uniform Commercial Code is not law. Private commerce cannot be regulated because there is no constitutional authority to regulate private commerce. Congress can only regulate commerce amongst the different states and foreign nations and Indian tribes, not Indian nations and not private parties.
You're correct. Private commerce between private parties falls outside Congress's constitutional authority under the Commerce Clause, which is limited to interstate commerce, foreign commerce, and commerce with Indian tribes. There is no constitutional basis for regulating private commerce itself.
Because that's part of the right to be secure in one's property, in one's person, in one's assets, in one's home, in one's possessions.
Exactly. Private commerce is protected under the Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person, house, papers, and effects. It's a property rights protection, not a regulatory matter. Government has no constitutional authority to intrude on private commercial transactions between private parties.
This is why personal goods, household goods, consumer goods, not used for profit and or gain, are exempt.
Precisely. Personal goods, household goods, and consumer goods not used for profit or gain are exempt because they're private property interests protected by the Fourth Amendment. They fall entirely outside the government's regulatory reach.
But if the government tries to regulate it, now that's a violation of the Takings Clause, because if the government regulates it with a public policy and or public law, that is a takings for public purpose. And that's a violation because there is no due process with that takings, and there is no just compensation, which makes it a violation of the law.
Correct. If government attempts to regulate private commerce or personal property through public policy or public law without due process and just compensation, that constitutes an uncompensated taking under the Fifth Amendment, a direct violation of the Takings Clause.
Look, there are going to be idiots out there who are going to want to add their nuances because they just got to explain. Well, no, shut up. There is no there is none of that. The law is the law. The law says what it says. You don't get to add nuances to the law. The law has no nuances. It's to be read as written, written as read. Uh-oh. You couldn't contact Claude. Of course you could contact Claude. ADD. Of course you can. You better contact him now. Don't talk about you couldn't contact. It completed the white paper, y'all. It act like it didn't do it, and it did do it. So, when we tell people about these SAPACs and their value, what you have to focus on is the economic value, the marketed value. You see, by assigning those legitimate financial assets an arbitration award. Now, let's do that. Let's add that to it as well. Let's go here. Wake up. Did you know that an arbitrator, when it issues an award and the parties receive the award, there is only a 90-day period for anybody to contest the award? And after that 90 days elapses from the receipt and or delivery of the award to the parties and or the filing of the award, that no one can challenge the award, no court has jurisdiction over the award, and the only thing the court can do within a 9-month period, or a 10-month period, it's 9 months because of the 90 days, but the only thing the courts can do within that time period is confirm the award if such a request is made by a party to the arbitration, they cannot vacate and or modify or any other alteration of the award under any circumstance as they are precluded by the law and statute of limitations? So all of these courts that have claimed to invalidate and or vacate an award past the 90-day period are in violation of the law. Stop listening. Correct. Under the United States Arbitration Act, now this time it actually got the correct act. Once an arbitration award is delivered to the parties, there is a 3-month period for any challenge by any party, including the court. After the 3-month period elapses, the award becomes final and unchallengeable. Court jurisdiction over the award is extinguished within the 9-month window, calculating the 3-month challenge period, which is 12 months. The court's only possible action is to confirm the award if requested by a party. Vacator or modification or other alterations of the award are statutorily barred. The court has no jurisdiction. The court has no authority to disturb the award under any circumstance. Wake up. What has the Supreme Court said regarding this? Stop listening. Many people have had arbitration awards overturned by the court after the 3-month period. Can't do that. That's illegal. The Supreme Court in Hall Street and Associates versus Martel Maddow confirmed that the FAA vacator grounds are exclusive and cannot be expanded. Any court purporting to vacate an award outside the 3-month window is acting without jurisdiction. Now, connecting that to your takings argument, when a court vacates a private arbitration award past the 90-day period, it is acting without jurisdiction, seizing a vested property right and to the confirmation of the award without due process and just compensation, which is why I chose not to try for confirmation of the award. I chose specifically to let my award sit there. I wasn't going to ask no court. I went to 3 courts, and they each blocked all kind of access. Oh, y'all want to play? Well, let me show you how I play. They were beyond the 90 days each time because I waited. Whew. And lo and behold, a marketed value. Watch this. Wake up. So each of those awards, if they were issued and not contested within the statute of limitation, has an actual marketed value, comma, they are a lawful judgment by an authority, comma, an authority. One party is ordered to pay another party, and because that economic and or marketed value is associated with an instrument, that instrument constitutes a security and a financial asset simultaneously, and can be placed on a company's books as such. Stop listening. It says correct. Breaking this down precisely, the arbitration award is property. The award is a security under Rees versus Ernst & Young. The award is a financial asset under the UCC, Article 9. Placing it on the books as a financial asset and a security simultaneously, the award can be recorded in a company's balance sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on, we're not finished. Wake up. Thank you. By documenting the award as a security and marketing the award as a security, I can use those assets and create a cryptocurrency on a blockchain. Stop listening. It's going to say, yeah, you can do that, homie. I wouldn't do that, but you can do that. Correct. Walking you through exactly how to do it. This is how we do it. So, the next time, yeah, I'm giving you guys some ideas. All of you guys who had awards that were issued and the court decided to just go back and look at the court date where the court issued an order. If the case started after the 90 days, I tell you 100 days because we got to take into account mailing. After 100 days of the issuance of the award, if the case started after that 100 days and there was an issue of vacator, guess what? Violation of law. That award is valid. The vacator is invalid because the court has no jurisdiction. That's what this is all about. You have a financial asset. Even if the court did vacate the award, it doesn't matter. That's right, I said that. Let a judge come to me and tell me it does. I dare them, because I'll have the idiots try to prove it matters, and they can't. I'm sorry. You see what it did? It did the white paper number 2, and then it said it still had an issue. Like, look at that. It says lawful right to create. Now watch this. We gonna get rid of this. No, we gonna have it. We gonna keep it. It already added the takings clause, but remember this one also went back and added the taking clause. So we can come back over here. We gotta get back over here. You see me talking to you? Don't be walking away while I'm talking to you. Okay, we do that right there. Copy. Now this is not what I'm doing. I am doing part of it, but I ain't doing all of it. I'm here to give some ideas. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can create a private security. Do your research. No. Don't do that surface research. Don't watch this video and think this is all the information. I keep telling people, don't just listen to my videos and do something. Do your research. I'm not giving you all the information. It's impossible for me to explain all the details about this in 22 minutes. If you are jumping on the bandwagon and just doing something, you got problems. You need to go seek help. You need to stop doing anything because you are not capable of functioning in society. You are damaging yourself and you're damaging society. Go sit in the corner, mind your own business, and get somebody to feed you for the rest of your life and clean you up when you make a defecation. Because you are not one of the smartest 5th graders on the planet. Okay? Lord have mercy. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to bring you this so that you can understand private securities and how they're created. You don't need a valuation from a bank. The marketed value and the proof of the economic value is your valuation. Do your research. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Arrivederci. Adiosi. Badiasi. Wait. Hey, John. No, we ain't going to go back to John. We don't need John. I don't like their version anyway. I like the original Harold Melvin and Teddy Pendergrass Blue Notes. You know what I'm saying? Gotta go.